This is video number 5. My name is Becky. I'm a Christian. I have ADHD and bipolar type 2, and I'm talking about the story of my life. And I also have cats, and they're making noises. So sorry in advance for any distractions. I already shared about marriage and motherhood and how I had this idea of how I was going to be the perfect one, and then I was going to tell other people how they could be amazing like me. And I think that was probably the bipolar grandiosity of just those moments of I'm great, I'm amazing, and I can do anything. And that was my plan. And then just having ADHD with just the rejection sensitivity of whenever I felt like my husband was choosing video games over me, it was just such rejection. And I would just sit in the dark in the bedroom and cry. And when I would spend too much money at the grocery store, and then he'd be like, wait, no, we're not supposed to be spending money. And then I would just feel like a horrible wife. And then I would just get in this low depression of just, I'm the worst. Or I would lose my patience with my kids. I'd get angry, I'd yell, and I would hate myself. And I would just think horrible things should happen to me, or wishing horrible things would happen to me because I deserve it. Yeah, so I had a lot of dark times throughout the years. My husband and me, we've been married for 14 years. We just had our 14th anniversary not too long ago. My oldest is 13, my youngest is 7, and I just found out this past fall that I had ADHD and bipolar type 2. So for most of these years, I went undiagnosed and I just didn't know what was wrong with me. I didn't know why I couldn't manage to do what I saw other mothers doing, like they could keep a clean house. They could keep it together. They seemed to have patience. I just didn't know what was wrong with me. And with bipolar type 2, you have longer lows and the highs aren't as high as typical bipolar mania. And they're shorter. Depression's more frequent and longer. And the times where I'm hypomanic, I feel really great. I feel very confident. I feel like finally the sun is shining. Finally, I got out of depression. I figured out the cure, and now I'm better, and now I don't have to worry about it anymore, and finally I'm better. And then that would last for a period of time, then I'd be back in the depression again, and I'd be like, oh, what was it? What happened? Is it my time of the month, or did I just need more vitamin D, or did I just, and I didn't know what was going on. I want to share a little bit about just the miraculous intervention that God did in my life. The first one that really made a significant change in my relationship with him was when I had my miscarriage. My miscarriage was in between kid number 3 and 4. A friend of ours gets prophetic dreams from God, messages for other people. And our friend, a mutual friend of me and my husband's, had a dream there was something wrong with the pregnancy. There was something very wrong. And I had the miscarriage, but I didn't know about the dream until after the miscarriage. And this person was very hesitant to tell us about the dream for obvious reasons. My husband told me about the dream. This person told him. And it was just mind-blowing to me that God cared. I mean, I know he knows everything. He loves all of us. But I just always felt like I was just one of the many sheep, and there was nothing special about me, so why would he pay any attention to me? So to know that he saw and cared about the emotional pain I was going to be in, and then he told a friend, actually talked about me. God Almighty, creator of the universe, talked about me to somebody with the intention that this person would help me. It was the first time that I knew God cared about my pain, and he cared enough to do something about it. So I knew that I could pray. I knew that he cared, and he saw, and he knew, and I knew that I could pray and I could talk to him about my pain. And having ADHD and bipolar type 2, there's a lot of emotional pain, especially when it's undiagnosed and I don't know what's going on. I don't know how to fix this. I don't know what to do to make it better. I just know that I hurt. I just know that I struggle. When I got pregnant with my fourth, and I really struggled emotionally, I'm pretty sure it was every day I'd break down crying, just sitting down on the floor with just my head in my hands and just crying, just overwhelmed. It was like I was always angry, just always on the brink of flipping out. I would get so angry. This was a repeated thing where I would just feel all the rage build up in my shoulders. Like I would need to just pound something, and I would just pound my wrist on the counter or on the cabinets. And over time, my wrists, I know I was damaging them. I just didn't know what else to do. Because it's like, I'm just going to explode if I don't get this energy out. Knowing that God cared about my pain, I just learned to pray, and I learned to pray honestly. And listening through the Psalms helped me to be like, oh wow, I can say that to God? Like, whoa, that's bold. That's like brutally honest. Like, wow. So I knew I could just pray those prayers of, God, I want to die. I just want to die. I don't want to tell anybody this because I know they'll worry about me. I don't want to kill myself necessarily. I just don't want to live. And I don't want to leave my children motherless, but I just don't want to live anymore. And I could just tell him exactly how I was feeling. And I could just be honest of like, you made me a brother. You know, you made me a mother knowing how messed up I am. Like, why did you let me get pregnant? What? I mean, I am screwing up these children. These precious children have a mother like me, and they don't deserve this. You know, I could just let it all out, and I knew that if it's there, I need to give it to God. If I hold it in and try to pretend like it's not there, it just festers in the dark. Like, I just need to say it. Just the honest confusion of like, I mean, I know you're good, but how can you be good? And like, I mean, I don't even know what to think. Like, I know you're a good God, but like, help me here. Like, I just don't get it. I don't see it. And I think taking that to God, that is clinging to him. I think the wrong thing to do with that is to pull back, you know, of like, I'm not taking that to God. I'm going to take care of it on my own. He's not trustworthy. Or to just hide it like, oh no, God will be displeased. I got to keep my distance. Like, that's dangerous. So I learned to just take everything to him. And I really learned how to pray during that time. And just honest prayers and just that deep connection of taking my most vulnerable parts to God, and my most vulnerable places of just connecting with God, bringing it to him and just feeling his comfort, just feeling him there. Not that he gave me answers of like, oh, well, you're struggling because you have bipolar type 2, you know, but just feeling his arms and his comfort of, I'm here with you. I know, I feel your pain. I'm hurting with you. Like, I feel it. Years later, I could feel my wrists hurting, and it hurt so bad, like I couldn't write. And I'm thinking, oh, I've done it to myself. I deserve it. And I thought, well, God's a good God. Maybe he'll heal me. So I prayed, and I was like, oh God, like, I need my left hand to write because I'm left-handed. And it's like, I know I deserve this, but I know you're merciful. Can you please just heal my wrist so that I can write without pain? And the pain just dissolved, faded away to nothing. I was like, wow, like, thank you, God. So I'm driving to the therapist. I'm driving, my right wrist is still hurting. And I'm thinking, well, I don't really need my right wrist. You know, I'm left-handed. I just need that one healed. And I'm driving, and I'm thinking, you know what, God's a good God. Maybe he'll heal my right one too. Why not ask? So I'm driving, and I'm holding it, and I'm like, God, I'm not closing my eyes while I'm driving, but I just, you know, I'm driving, and I held it, and I was like, God, can you please heal this one too? I know I've done it to myself, but I know you're merciful. Can you please have mercy and just heal it? And he did. The pain just whoosh, dissolved to nothing. And my wrists were fine. Like, they weren't acting up anymore. I just want to talk a little bit about the anxiety that I've gone through the addiction too. Like when the kids were young, I was addicted to video games because I felt like it was the only place where I was successful, the only place where I could actually get things done, the only place where things were orderly and neat and pretty. I was definitely addicted, and I realized and I knew I had to change something. I don't know quite how I got unaddicted. I think I just stopped playing altogether. It's been recently that I'm trying to play a little bit again because it's fun. I need fun in my life. But it's still that pull of as soon as I like something, like I think about it all the time. I'm dreaming about it, thinking about it in bed at night. It's just a constant struggle, but it's just knowing, okay, this is when it's crossed the line to addiction. This is what I need to watch out for. This is how I do it in a healthy way. And just practicing the self-discipline of like, I need to be in charge of myself and I need to stop when it's time to stop. I need to be the boss of me. You know, I know better. It's time to stop. And I had a lot of anxiety around the time of the Trump-Hillary election. I could just sense in my spirit that trouble was coming. Like bad times were coming. There was just something on the horizon that was bad. And I'm just looking for what it could be. And I'm looking, you know, in all the conspiracy theory channels, and I was getting into just finding these prophets on YouTube that had a dream from God, and they were telling, you know, this is how to prep, this is, you know, what's coming, this is what to do. And then I find, you know, conspiracy theory channels about the government and what's behind the government, and then I'm looking into aliens. The alien thing was very bad. I avoided listening to Christians about it because I thought they were closed-minded and just driven by fear and did not care to learn. They just wanted to stick with what they heard and not even look into it. So I'm looking into it, and I'm looking everywhere except what Christians said about it, and just wanting to channel, wanting to communicate with them. And my husband, he'd keep saying like, that sounds like demonic. Like, I don't want you doing that. So I didn't. And I thank God that I listened to him. But I remember sitting one time in my prayer closet, and I have the curtain closed because I need no distractions. So in there, and I'm praying, and I'm always praying about meeting an alien. And I'm like, oh God, please, please, just let me be an alien. I mean, I'm not going to be afraid of them. I'm going to befriend them, and I want to talk to them about God, because if God made two different kinds of intelligent beings on two different planets, like, wow, let's compare notes, you know? So I'm praying and praying, and then I just feel this presence in my room. I could just feel it outside my curtain, like I knew something was there. Someone was there. I could feel it, and I was terrified. And I'm so curious, and I'm like, I gotta look. I gotta see what's there. I have to. I'm gonna regret it if I don't. But I was just so terrified. I was like, no, I am not even looking at it. I don't even know what's gonna happen if I make eye contact with it. And it was just like, you know, part of my brain's like, you gotta look, come on, this is what you want. It's there, God answered your prayer. But then the other part is like, no way, I'm not getting close to that. That is scary, bad. Like, I knew it was bad. Evil. And then I didn't, and the moment left, and it left. And I was like, well, that was weird. What was that? And I can see God just showing signs of like, this is not what you think it is. And when I finally looked into what Christians had to say about it, and I saw people actually knew what they were talking about. You know, they had actually researched it. They'd actually talked to people who had been abducted by aliens, talking with people who channeled with aliens, and just seeing over and over and over of like, wow, that is demonic. That is just clearly demonic. And it made sense of why there was just this darkness in the house. It just felt darker, maybe looked darker. There was just a lot more fear and anger in the air. Like, I don't know how else to describe it other than it was in the air. The kids were angrier, more fearful. And there's one night where Josh was gone. He was at some church meeting or something, and the kids are in bed, and I'm in bed, and the lights are off, and I just had this overwhelming sense of fear. It was like it just came over me of like, I am really scared to be in the dark here by myself. I could just feel it, like, in the air. And so I just start praying. And I'm trying to use all the words I've heard people say you're supposed to say. In the name of Jesus, leave. I claim the power of you know, I don't think I said that. I don't remember what I said. I'm just trying to say every phrase I've ever heard people say you're supposed to say. And I could just feel it lift. It felt lighter. Like, even though it was dark in there, it just seemed brighter. And it was just like this cloud lifted. I had peace. I don't know how much I should get into on YouTube videos about, I mean, just interactions that I've had and just experiences that I've had. But they're definitely there. They're definitely real. When I heard the verse in Proverbs about, like, the person that goes looking for good will find it. The person who goes looking for evil, it will find them. I mean, it's not hard to find God. Go looking for him. You will find him. He's not far away. He's not hard to find. But you go looking into evil and it'll come looking for you. So if I say anything in these videos that you're interested in, you want me to talk more about, just say something in the comments below and I'm happy to go into detail. And if you can relate to anything, I would love to hear you to share your experience. I would love to learn from your experience, and I think there's a lot of value in sharing our stories. I think it helps us to process, and it helps other people to get ideas for their own journey of, okay, well, this is similar, and God helped them. God can help me too. So I hope you have encouragement for your own journey, and I hope you cling to God with all your might. Blessings on your own journey.